家好，欢迎收看 CIFA 全球移民频道。位于地中海的岛国马耳他，气候温暖，四季如春，也是深受欢迎的移民国度之一。今天我们邀请到马耳他本地的大律师 Kurt， 为大家介绍2021年最新的马耳他移民政策。
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Kurt Catania and I am one of the directors of CIFA Fiduciary Limited. I'm a lawyer by profession, and my main area of expertise is investment migration. FIDES is strategically located with its offices in the heart of Valletta, our beautiful capital city. We have a team of warranted lawyers and accountants, as well as a team of vibrant administrators, which together provide a professional and tailored service. The question, why Malta? Malta is situated in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, just beneath our neighboring country of Italy. Malta boasts, due to its position, excellent weather, and pretty much the Mediterranean climate is enjoyed all year round. Apart from its exceptional climate, Malta offers also a stable and secure environment for families and young children, being that crime is very low, making Malta one of the safest places in the world. Since 2004, Malta has joined the EU, becoming one of the European member states, and in 2007 has also opted to join the Schengen program. This provides an added advantage for individuals that achieve citizenship and residence in Malta, as it provides visa-free travel within the Schengen area. Malta enjoys a high level of education with several private and public schools, where the primary language is English. This is obviously a very big advantage for our international clients that decide to reside in Malta. Malta also offers a university which covers all areas, given that there are dedicated faculties of all the various areas, and which it also boasts of international acclamation. While being a small nation, the level of healthcare is among the best in the world. The World Health Organization has in fact ranked Malta as fifth place out of more than 100 countries. It comes as no surprise that in the battle against COVID-19, Malta has been the first European member state to achieve herd immunity. A word about the property industry in Malta. The buying of a movable property has always been considered a safe investment, and holds even true today when the market is enjoying massive interest both from local players as well from foreigners coming to the island. The average annual increase of the Maltese property market from 2001 to 2020 has been that of a stable growth, set at 5.4%, with this average being slightly higher in seaside resort areas. These figures show a steady and healthy long-term growth. Malta offers a large selection of types of properties, catered to meet everybody's needs. One may choose from luxury apartments by the seaside, and even old houses of character filled with charm and architectural beauty, as well as a selection of villas with private pools. Malta's thriving markets are that of tourism, as well as the financial services industry, which sets Malta as a European hub, offering all these specialized services within the industry. Investment migration and the residence and citizenship programs available in Malta, today I would like to introduce you to two main programs offered by the government of Malta, and these are namely the granting of citizenship for exceptional services, also known as the Citizenship Program, and secondly the 2021 Permanent Residence Program. So starting with the first program, the granting of citizenship for exceptional services, also known as the Maltese Citizenship Program. This is a relatively new program launched in November 2020, and this essentially took the place of the old passport program that Malta had in place for the previous more or less 5 years. These regulations allow for exclusive citizenship application by naturalization, by direct investment in the economic and social development in the Republic of Malta. Some advantages of the program that I would like to discuss with you. So, Among the major advantages of the program, I would say that obtaining Maltese citizenship gives you access to one of the most powerful passports in the world. Effectively, the Maltese passport is the 5th most powerful passport in the world, allowing mobility to 133 countries worldwide. Also, another major advantage of Maltese citizenship is dual citizenship. Malta recognizes dual citizenship, and therefore a beneficiary of the passport program would not need to renounce his domestic citizenship, the one he was therefore born with and most likely would like to retain at the same time as they also obtain Maltese citizenship. It is important to note that the beneficiary of the program may add his family members to the program. Our law defines family members as family dependents, and these include a spouse of the main applicant, the children of the main applicant, as well as, and this is very interesting, the parents of the main applicant and the parents of the spouse, as long as parents have attained the age of 55 and are economically dependent on the main applicant. The program has two possible routes that the main applicant may choose for himself and for his family. The first route is the one-year residence approach that eventually leads to eligibility for citizenship, whereas the second route is the 3-year residency approach that eventually leads to citizenship. In both the cases, whichever route the applicant chooses, at the beginning of the 1 year or the 3 years, let's just call it the residency period, the applicant will immediately, within 2 to 3 weeks of the police clearance and the biometrics appointment, already receive a Maltese residence in the form of an EID residency card for himself and for his family dependents. And as we said in the beginning of this talk, this gives the advantage already of Schengen travel for the family. In the event of choosing the 1-year option, the contribution payable to the government of Malta is of €750,000, whereas through the 3-year residency approach, the contribution payable to the government of Malta will be €600,000. So as we can see, the difference between the 1-year approach and the 3-year approach is essentially a slightly cheaper contribution that is due to the government of Malta. A successful applicant would also need to purchase or lease a qualifying property in Malta. In the event of choosing to purchase qualifying property, the minimum set price is of €700,000, whereas in the event of leasing a property, it is 16,000 per annum, so 16,000 per year, and the lease must be effective for a minimum period of 5 years. Therefore, it needs to be held for 5 years between the landlord and the lessee. Another requirement that a successful applicant would need to satisfy is that he would need to donate the amount of €10,000 to a philanthropic and/or charitable institution in Malta. Now, it is important to note that be it the contribution that I mentioned before of either €750,000 or €600,000, as well as the qualifying investment, whether it's purchased or leased, and lastly, this contribution, this donation that I just mentioned, in all these cases, all these fees, disbursements if you like, are due to the agency only when the applicant and his family receive a letter of approval. Therefore, in the beginning of the application, there is a small amount of non-refundable fee that needs to be paid, but the bulk of the expenses that need to be paid to the agency are only due when the family is sure that they will be receiving their passport. So essentially, after the 1-year approach or the 3-year approach, whichever one they would have chosen in the beginning of the program, the family, through the accredited agent being FIDES in this case, will file the eligibility stage documents, which basically comprise of application forms and documents that prove the economic due diligence of the client. The agency shall undergo their due diligence stage, which lasts around 120 days, give or take. And at that point, the agency shall revert, letting the family know whether they have letter of approval in principle. Naturally, sometimes the agency will come back with further questions, and we as your agents will assist you to furnish the necessary information to the agency. It is after the eligibility stage that these major disbursements, such as the contribution, the qualifying property, and the donation, are due, and when those are satisfied, we then file the citizenship application, which ultimately paves the way to your naturalization and taking oath in Malta, when the main applicant and the family will be here to take oath accordingly and apply for the passport. Our team of lawyers will assist the clients in all the vetting of the documentation and necessary certifications, as well as completing all the applications in the best way possible in order to attain the maximum from your application. I would now like to move on to discuss the second program, which we briefly introduced a few minutes ago. This goes by the name of the 2021 Permanent Residency Program. This program differs from the passport program to the extent that it does not give a successful applicant citizenship. However, it does give a successful applicant a residency for life. Therefore, the residency is considered indefinite for the main applicant and his family members, and for residency they are awarded an EID card which has a validity term of 5 years. Therefore, every 5 years this document will need to be renewed for the main applicant and his family. Mentioning family, a noteworthy point to make is that just like the citizenship program, this program too allows the main applicant to add to the program his family dependents. The definition is exactly the same like the one we mentioned under the citizenship program, and therefore a main applicant may add to this program his spouse, as well as his children, and his parents, as well as the spouse's parents, subject that they are over the age of 55 and economically dependent on the main applicant. In order to be eligible for the program, a successful main applicant must have reached at least 18 years of age and be a reputable individual with a clean police conduct. The third and most important requirement, amongst others, is that the main applicant must possess a minimum capital of at least 500,000 euros, of which 150,000 of them are in the form of financial assets. In order to prove this to the agency, the applicant will need to file an affidavit through the agent, being Fides in this case representing the main applicant. A successful applicant must also purchase or rent a qualifying property in Malta, just as we discussed for the citizenship program, with the only difference that the parameters are a little bit lower. So in this case, if the main applicant chooses to purchase qualifying property, the minimum purchase price is of 350,000 euro, whereas if the applicant chooses to rent a property, the value is 12,000 per annum. The amount payable to the government of Malta varies depending on whether the applicant chose to purchase or lease the property. Should have the applicant chosen to purchase the property, then the contribution payable to the government is of 68,000 euro, whereas if the applicant has chosen to lease a property, the contribution payable to the government is of 98,000 euro. The only other fee apart from these mentioned that is due in accordance with the program regulations is a donation of 2,000 euro to a charitable institution or NGO. Again, like in the citizenship program, the bulk of the fees, therefore the major part of the contribution, as well as the charity and qualifying property, with the exception of a 10,000 euro application fee, which is considered non-refundable and a part of the contribution fee, are only due when the client, the applicant, essentially receives approval from the agency and knows that him and his family will be receiving their residence. Therefore, the major disbursements due to the agency and the government of Malta fall due only once the family is accepted. Lastly, the duration of this program is somewhere between 6 to 8 months. Therefore, from the moment that the family applies to be a part of the 2021 Permanent Residency Program. If everything flows according to plan and the application is correct and the supporting documentation is in good order and the agency is satisfied with that, the applicant should see himself and his family receive their residency card around 6 to 8 months after the initial application. Once again, FIDES and our legal team, our residency and citizenship team, are here to assist the client every step of the way, and we will assist the client with applications, vetting of documentation, any questions that the agency have, as well as assisting with any insurance needs or property search, etc. This brings my discussion to a close. I would like to thank you for your attention and for considering Malta as a possibility for your family's future, and I look forward to welcoming you in person to our beautiful island.